Hello everyone, welcome back. Max here again, and today's focus is going to be on roundabouts. So if you have a look behind you, I know it's a little bit glary, we just had a little bit of rain and the sun's catching that a little bit. So it's a bit difficult to see, but we've got a protected roundabout behind us, which is quite novel here in Melbourne. We've actually got two on this particular route. And just to give you a bit of background about why these were installed, there is an alternate route which runs into the city, maybe 500 metres away. And that was the primary cycling corridor into the CBD. However, due to construction works, that's going to last for many, many years, 5 to 10 years kind of thing. They decided to get cyclists onto this route instead. So they got out and had a look and thought, well, where are the risks for cyclists at the moment using this route? And they identified these two roundabouts, and they thought, what can we actually do to improve cyclist safety using these roundabouts? And that's how we've come across with these protected roundabouts. So that's just a little bit of history of where these projects came about. So they are relatively new in Melbourne, and people are still getting used to it, both as cyclists and just general traffic as well. But I think they're a really fantastic treatment to be implementing. I'd love to hear everyone's feedback on, I suppose, what you would consider the benefits of this type of roundabout for cyclists and also for pedestrian safety. But the one question that I really have for participants is, there's one drawback that I see as a cyclist with this arrangement, and I'd love to hear if anyone shares that kind of similar idea or has that same thinking as me. What would you consider as perhaps something that doesn't work so well for cyclists in this space? Unfortunately, I'm not even seeing any cyclists travelling around this roundabout at the moment. I can't see any on the horizon, and we haven't got our faithful Ken rolling around today, unfortunately. But we've seen some pedestrians crossing, so hopefully that gives you an idea of exactly how this protected roundabout is meant to be functioning. And we will also give you an example of cycling through it, which we might just hop into straight now. So here's example 1, riding through this protected roundabout. Okay, so that was example number 1. We'll get straight into example number 2, which is perhaps a more typical treatment at roundabouts for cyclists. And we'll see how everyone feels about riding through example number 2. So here we go. Excellent. So that's example number 1 and 2 done. Hopefully everyone got a bit of a taste of how it feels cycling through these different treatments at roundabouts, and maybe give you some points to consider when looking at designing for cycling facilities at roundabouts in the future. These are used quite regularly in European cities and countries, and also in the United States and Canada. We're starting to see a little bit more of them in Australia and New Zealand, but there's still a way to go with implementing these, and it'll be fantastic to see more of them, because it not only caters for confident, commuter cyclists who are regularly interacting with the traffic lane or just general traffic. It caters for those who are not so confident and perhaps want to be separated and taken away from the roundabout or that circulating area and given a little bit more space away from the traffic. So that's why it's such a fantastic example, because it really does cater from cyclists from ages 8 to 80. So not just people who are regularly on the saddle and feel confident riding, but those who are just getting started, or those who are a little bit more vulnerable, the young and the old. So it's a really fantastic example, and we hope to see more of these throughout Australia. So thanks everyone for your time, and look forward to catching up next time. Cheers.
Hello everyone, Max here again. I know I promised only 2 examples for this week's module, but I got really excited and wanted to include a third, and just to make sure everyone's watching these videos right to the end as well. So here we go, we're cycling down a bi-directional facility. On the left you can see is actually a university, and just past that is a school. And on the right hand side is predominantly residential areas. So I think the council have made a really clever decision in making the bi-directional facility all on this one side of the road, rather than have one way each way and having a lot of cycling traffic having to cross this road in order to access the main generators, which are the school and the university. So they've kept it all on this side, which I think is a really smart move. But I think what's also a really interesting facet about this facility is how it interacts with roundabouts, which we're about to come up to one at the moment, and we'll see how exactly are cyclists catered for in this environment. So we'll see, as we're carried off at the moment, we're offset a little bit from the circulating area, and just like we saw before in our protected roundabout example, we're raised above and we're given the priority, so vehicles have to give way to cyclists on the threshold. It's a fantastic idea, and the reason that it's working so well in this environment is because, as I mentioned, you've got all the cyclists in one particular leg, and so what that actually means is the other legs aren't raised. So you may not have noticed it on the first one. Here's another roundabout example, and just to make it a little bit clearer, I might just pause here and we'll have a look together. So if you have a look at the other legs, I know it's a little bit hard to see, but they're not actually raised. It's only where the cycling conflict point exists, which is on this leg, that council have decided to raise the pavement. So here we go back again. Cycling down here, and it's just been a lovely day for cycling, so I was really happy to get involved in this one. And just as another aside, you can see that the separator that they've chosen as part of this particular facility is the flexible bollard, which provides that level of safety, but is not quite as cost prohibitive as other measures. Well, I hope everyone got something out of this cheeky third example and enjoyed the nice sunny weather. Cheers, guys.